Hi. I just watched episode 10, volume 6 of RWBY, Stealing from the Elderly, and I don't know, it sort of lulls you into a false sense of security, this episode, doesn't it? Like, the beginning, well, it's like, you know, someone's like, oh, this song's too good to be true. It is. Yeah. Everything was going all according to plan, too much according to plan. You should have seen this coming, but I was too busy enjoying all of, like, the soft, like, looks everyone was giving to each other, and, like, some of them, like, I got a little bit shippy there, because, you know, Blake and Yang are doing Bumblebee, and their little conversation before she left. I was like, oh, that's nice. And then we have John celebrating and Nora looking at each other, and just like, oh, my ships. But and then everyone's just being all soft and be like, yeah, it's okay. And the friendship between like RWBY and Oscar, and then like everything went tits up. Like as soon as they were like you know, Blake's not responding, and it's like, okay, this is gonna be bad. And then it's like they just sort of buzzed into the aircraft, and it's like, and Marie starts talking, and I'm like, this is gonna be worse, because like, oh, it's just like, but she knows which guards are on there. They don't. She doesn't sound anything like them, and it's like, oh, it failed because we don't hire any elderly women, and it's like, well, that. Sometimes your protagonists have to make a mistake, so that's fair. Oh my god. But yeah, it was very optimistic at the beginning, very soft, and like had a bit of humour. Because I know lots of people complain about the tone of RWBY now, that it's too dark and serious. Some people are very much in favour of that. Some people like, you know, take it as what it is, and some people are like, I miss the old days of RWBY when it was fun. That's like I've heard some people say stuff like that. So I feel like these last couple episodes, like, it makes sense to have some like humour and lightheartedness before this bit when horrible Adam returns. But yeah, that was cute. It was pretty funny. It was a nice moment before like we get the moments of every single thing going wrong. It's like Crow panicking, and it's like, oh, don't worry, Crow, it's gonna be okay. It's teamwork. We're all together. And then Blake's alone with Adam, and it's like, it will be okay later on. We have to deal with this first, then it will be okay. Oh my god. I saw the thumbnail for the next episode, so I did expect a Blake and Adam confrontation in that, but I wasn't really like... I wasn't really like expecting it to be like this episode necessarily. I just, you know, soon. I wasn't expecting it to go like that. And Blake's like, yeah, it'll be fine. And then the minute she's alone, she's surrounded by dead guards, and Adam's trying, like, fighting her and trying to, like, convince her that somehow all of the things that have happened are her fault. And yikes. I know as soon as this episode comes out what Adam's stands are going to be like, which is a rough time, because I do think the writers are being like, Adam is abusive. I think it's very clear what they're trying to do, and like one thing that is characteristic of an abusive relationship is like the abusive partner convincing the sort of victim that everything is their fault, the victim's fault, and like any bad sort of thing the abuser did, they did it either for the victim or the victim did something to provoke the abuser, thus sort of making it their fault. It's like a weird, horrible, manipulative sort of thing. So I hope people don't see Adam and be like, oh, see, Blake's in the wrong too. And it's like, well, Blake has done some, like, not great things, but she's definitely not comparable to Adam, I would say. Like, she's like, I'd sort of say that, like, Blake started off as how Ilya ended, sort of recently sort of redeemed, was in the right thing, saw the error of the ways one way or another and left, sort of thing. Started off like that and has continued growing from there, and only made one slip up, and that wasn't out of meanness in any way. It was because of psychological issues which Adam helped to develop. So I hope people don't be like sort of blaming Blake for any of this, because Adam's stalking Blake and singling out the people she cares about and hurting them and attacking her school and other schools and innocent people in general, and just doing things that are going to hurt her emotionally as well as physically, because he is physically attacking her as well, which people neglect to mention sometimes. Like, none of that is her fault in any way, shape or form. He is very clearly trying to manipulate her, and it's horrifying. Blake has done remarkably well. You can tell she's still terrified, still trying to, like, hold her ground, because you've got that bit right near the end of episode 5 where she was standing on the top of that building, you know, in the darkness with, like, the wind blowing her hair or whatever, and she was, like, Batmaning that. It's like the Batman animated series opening. Yeah. And it's just like, I'm not going to let you do any of this, and I'm not here for you, I'm doing this for me, and all that stuff, which was perfect. But healing psychologically is... Well, healing's not an instantaneous, like, I don't know, process. That's the word I'm looking for. It's not an instantaneous process. Especially with, like, mental wounds, which can take years or lifetimes to try and heal. So I didn't expect at the end of that for her to be like, I am suddenly A-okay, I'm not scared of Adam anymore, things are fine. Like, she's started to care about herself more and prioritise her relationships with others in doing that. You know, self-love, that's an important thing, you know? I'm not going to go into a big lecture about self-love and how it connects with friendships and other kinds of relationships and stuff like that, but I think Rooster Teeth did try to show that she has made some progress in that a bit, with, like, the way she's speaking to Adam. She's not... If you, like, go back to that horrible scene in Volume 3, which no one want, like, we don't want to rewatch that, but if you did want to go back and watch it, like, she's sort of almost cowering. She doesn't fight him very much. She's mostly just, like, staring at him and, like, backing away and things like that. Because obviously she's terrified. He's murdered people. He has killed many people. Like, she knows he's a very dangerous person. And he wanted to hurt her. So, yeah, yikes. With this, she did very much fight him. And even, like, tried to talk him down. Which, like, I don't think he deserves that. You know, I think if literally, like, if any character just came in and murdered him, I would just be like, yeah, that's fair. You know, it's where I'm at. But I don't know what the Rooster Teeth writers want to do. They seem to be kind of anti-murder with their protagonists, which, like, fair, I suppose. And that's why we have Death by Griffin and such. But, yeah, she's even trying to talk him down and convince him to stop. Like, I don't know if I don't think there's any goodness in him, and I'm not sure if she does either. But she's still trying, which, like, wow. But yeah, either that or stalling. To be fair, I don't know. A little bit of option A, a little bit of option B is nice, because obviously Yang said she was backup, and that's what we've been waiting for. That Blake and Yang against Adam. because he's been set up as a very powerful character, and like both the girls are very powerful as well, very adept fighters, but with everything going on and all the blows they've taken physically and psychologically, I do think that it's probably going to need both to take him down. So yeah, and like if anyone like deserves to actually Adam, you know, finally take him out, then like it's going to be those two, really, I guess. Yang's going after her. This is gonna be next episode's gonna be so tense, and I have to wait for it. Yeah, I can't. I say I can't wait. I have to wait, whether I like it or not. You know, I don't have a first account, so I'm waiting either way. But dang, that is so much. I'm like. I am a Yang girl. If I'm being honest, it's very difficult for me to pick favourite characters at times. But if I did have to pick a favourite protagonist, I would pick Yang, sort of thing. Like, it's not like, oh, I like Yang. It's, if you pick a gun to my head and told me to pick a favourite, I would say Yang, kind of deal. You know, like, I love all of them, but maybe Yang a little bit more, I guess. I don't know. That feels mean to say. But I'm very much a huge Yang fan. This is going to be a pivotal thing in her character. And, like, just a moment in her life where she's finally gonna... She's been saying for, like, 2 volumes that not only is she very hurt and scared and upset, she's also very, very deeply furious, very angry, vengeful even. If you like, well, I mean, I've analysed the lyrics to Ignite, like, she is murderous even. And like, if she did kill him, then like, fair. I don't know if the writers want that, but it's interesting to... How is she gonna just freeze? Is she gonna like just run forward and like try to kill him? As one of the girls gonna have to save the other girl, either like sort of, you know, as like a parallel to that night in volume 3, The Fall of Beacon, that episode. Is it going to be Yang saving Blake again? Is it going to be Blake saving Yang this time? There's so much. And that's even without getting to his new edgy outfit with the blindfold. Which, what's the blindfold? What's the mask? Where's the mask gone? I mean, I know he dropped it in the Adam trailer, but I thought, like, he might have picked it back up, honestly. Like, I think in that bit where, like, he's murdered everyone in the White Fang and the camera just pans along and it's all red everywhere, he has his mask on, I think. And then he screams because he's angry emo boy. And, now he has a blindfold, which... Is it interesting? It's concerning. Because before, I'd never thought... You know, I've always been hoping that Adam was just, like, a person, and all of the power that he had was just, like, he was just a powerful guy. Because you do, although there are some characters in RWBY which are magical, most of them just have the semblances, which are, like, they're magic, but in their world it's not magic. You know what I mean? Like, someone can just do that. Like, there are weird abilities, but not everyone's a maiden, sort of thing. And I just sort of expected... Well, I hoped that all of his power was just like a mix between being good with his sword, being good with, like... Being good at sword fighting, selectively using his semblance, and psychological manipulation. That sort of thing. Because... Even with, like, Kira, who was indeed an extremely good fighter. She just moved someone's like weapon just a little bit to the side. Things like that. Just being selective. Like, you don't have to have all your power on all the time. You just have to know when to use what you have, and then you can be a better fighter than, in theory, anyone, if you just know when to use the things that you have against someone. So, like, the fact that his eyes are covered, and there's so much in RWBY about people's eyes, I don't like that. Because people had that, like, silver-eyed Adam theory and stuff, and I'm like, no thanks, and I don't know, like, did someone blind him? I mean, I'm hoping it's that, I guess. I don't want him to be magic, so... And then it's like, what happened to him? Was it in the fight with the White Fang people? Because he seemed to be able to see where, like, Emerald, Mercury and Hazel were going after the fall that never was, you know, at Haven? I think it was Haven. You know, the other school that was attacked. I'm terrible at remembering the school names, and I feel very bad about it, but you know what school I mean. It's just, I mean, like, we don't know because he has a mask, and the masks have tiny little eye slits, so we never see his eyes or his face other than the, like, this sort of bit. We just see his mouth and his hair mainly. So literally just no idea. We don't know until that episode, and I'm hoping he finally gets unmasked. But that is deeply concerning to me. It's like, why? Why must he have yet another edgy outfit? What does this mean? Yeah, it's pretty much ominous all round. Like, this is happening, which is one of the last things of the intro that hasn't happened yet. You know, you can get that bit on the train with, like, Blake, like, looking at Yang, and then Yang looking at the window, and there's that, like, the little Adam sort of reflection and stuff. And it's, like, symbolic, but you're looking at that and you're like, where is the confrontation? Where is the fight? Where is the bees? But it's gonna happen. It feels weird that it's finally happening. It does feel kind of weird that it's happening, like, before we've seen Blake and Yang talk, but maybe after the fight, or maybe even a bit during the fight, they will talk and say something, maybe something quick. But yeah, I'm hoping that they kick his ass finally, and he's gone. I hate Adam. I hate him so much. Like, I think Rooster Teeth did a decent job with Adam because everything about him I hate, and like, it can be difficult to get that in a character. Sometimes, like, you know, there's the unintended side effect of when you write a villain, and like something about them is like funny or tragic or just like anything that anyone could possibly relate to, and then loads of people will be like, oh, they're not so bad. It's difficult to try and get a villain sometimes which is just universally almost disliked. Like, most people hate Adam deeply. The people that do stan Adam do concern me, because I've never met someone who goes, oh yeah, I like Adam as a character, he's one of my favourites, and I don't agree with his actions. It's generally because of him being horrible, which is concerning, to say the very least. But yeah, typically, most people don't like Adam. They really don't. And I'm glad Rooster Teeth managed to do that, because he is truly an awful person. You know, like, if you're like, who is the most evil character in RWBY, I'll put, like, Adam and, like, Shocks. That's his name, Weiss's dad. Like, they'd be the most evil characters in my mind. Like, any other character, I'm just like, yeah, you know, they're evil, but they're not as bad as... And then you just look at them and I'm like, no, just, yeah, 100% evil, nothing good in there at all. No, not even tiny speck of decency. It's kind of a lot when you're, like, looking at a character and trying to decide how evil they are, and you're, like, in RWBY, and it's, like, they're more evil than Cinder. And, like, I'm a Cinder stan, but I'm, like, looking at them and I'm like, yeah, you are badder than she is, and it's, wow. I rambled so much about this. But yeah, I hope they finally take down Adam. I want him to die. I don't know if the writers want that, because they seem to be very, yeah, in control of your anger, like their strength and forgiveness. And to be honest, I think that can only extend so far. I don't think Blake has to forgive her abuser in any way. If she murdered him, I'd be like, yeah, okay, cool. You know? I'd be like, yeah, I understand that completely. But, yeah, I just hope... I don't think Adam can be redeemed in any way. So either he dies because he was killed or accidental, hurt Griffin, or he's taken to prison somehow. I don't know. But just off my screen, out of their lives, never to be seen again. That would be ideal. And there's plenty of other villains afterwards that progress the plot in... You know, you need the Blake and Yangs thing resolved. If you resolve this thing with Adam, all of that bundle of angst and tension can finally start to be resolved, and then we can get to other conflicts like Cinder and Neo, and Tyrion and Watts, which was presented in the episode before this one, in Atlas. So whenever they get to Atlas, that will be interesting. Plus there'll be all kinds of other things in Atlas, like Weiss's family, maybe Penny, we don't know. It's I try not to theorise too much in RWBY, because this show is as ridiculous as it is brilliant, and it is quite difficult to predict anything that happens in the show without doing like a theory video every week of the year and having like over 50 theories for the next volume or something. One of them will be right. It's very much a gamble. But point is, in Atlas, whenever they get there, it'll probably be near the end of this volume or the next, or like beginning next volume maybe. Who knows? But at some stage, soon, but not right away, get to Atlas. Plenty of villains, so this Adam thing can finally be checked off, and then we'll find out whatever the Cinder and Neo thing is as well. And whatever Salem's planning, and Emerald and Mercury, the point is, and whatever Raven's doing, the point is we have lots of villains and morally grey characters that could possibly hinder or help the plot as well. We have plenty of those. So Adam, he can go now. I'm very biased, but I do think that this is the ideal time. These next couple episodes. That would be ideal. But then again, like, I don't know what the writers have planned. They have mostly been positively surprising me this volume. And which sounds mean, because it's not like I had low hopes for them. I just tried to take things as they come, I guess. So I was like, I'm going to enjoy some of this no matter what, and I'm enjoying like 95% of this. So that's pretty great statistics, I would say. But yeah. In conclusion, screw the Atlesian military. I don't think that woman should be in charge if her plan to bring down a rogue aircraft with someone important in it that she needs to bring back to somewhere is to shoot it down with a giant mech. I don't think she should be in that job. Thing number 2. What did I say about splitting up? Don't split up. It's not a good idea. Thing number 3. Oh, friendship, soft looks, and respect, and self-love, and all that nice mushy stuff. Thing number 4. I am concerned. I am happy as a shipper. I am concerned. But we got some good content in this episode. But I am concerned. I spoke way too long about this. I'm sorry, I just have a lot of feelings about these characters. And bees. The animal and the ship. But, yeah, I hope you enjoyed whatever this video is. I'm going to try and upload these videos quickly. I don't know when, which is not very helpful because you're going to get this video as I say that to you. When you hear me say that, you'll have already got it. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get these out before episode 11 is out for public release. So fingers crossed. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed that episode, I guess, even if you're deeply concerned and want to find out what happens in the next episode. And see you in the next video.